Hi, my name is Brandy, and I have a tutorial here for you today on how to use my new family yearbook template for Canva. And all you have to do here is first you're going to click on the link from your purchase, and then it will bring up this Canva template. If you do not have a Canva account, it will prompt you to create one. It's totally free. This is a free account that I'm using, so everything that I am doing right now is going to be something you can do with a free account, as opposed to a paid pro account. So the first thing you're going to do is you're going to go to File and you're going to want to make a copy. And I recommend this for anytime you use a template with Canva. That way you still have the template in your Canva account, untouched and ready to use for another project. So that is the number one thing I always say to do first. After that, you can go ahead to Uploads and you're going to click this button to upload all the photos or images that you'd like to add. You can also use patterns, anything that is an image file, you can go ahead and uh, download or upload, I'm sorry, into Canva, and it will show up here for you. These are just photos of my nephew from last Christmas. So I'm just using these to show you how to edit your template. So you can either drag the photo right onto the screen, or you can click and then drag it into the frame. And if you are on a mobile device, you have to if you're on the phone, you have to click. If you're on the iPad, you can drag sometimes, but it's iffy. It's better just to click if you can. So you can go ahead and do that. And then, as you can see, sometimes you may want to change the color of the text or the style of the text so that you can better see it against the photo, or you may want to just go ahead and move the text somewhere else on the page. What I did there is I clicked while holding Shift to click on all three, uh, but you can also drag your cursor uh, to highlight and select all three of these. So those are both options. And you can move it wherever you like. You can also drag from the corners to make it larger or smaller. And then while everything's selected, you can change the color all at once. If you want something lighter that's going to pop against a darker photo, um, you can choose just to make it white, or like I have here, a pale pink. Pink is my favorite color, if you hadn't noticed by my shop. Um, you can also change the font up here. You could change all of the font all at once, um, or you can keep them separate by just selecting on them individually if you want them to have separate fonts, the way I have initially here. And you can just choose any font you like. However, if it has this gold crown here, which some of the fonts will have, these are all fonts you'd have to pay for if you wanted to uh, get rid of a watermark. So see, if you use this, it's going to pop up here. Um, and actually, I think with the fonts, it doesn't even let you. For some things, it'll let you put them in, but it'll give a watermark. Um, so to avoid that, you just want to avoid those fonts altogether, unless you want to pay for the pro account, or take the 30-day free trial if you haven't done it yet. Um, the next thing I want to show you is if, let's say, you want to adjust how this photo is within the frame, you're just going to want to double click, and then you can drag it within the frame, or you can drag the corners to zoom in, or if you feel you've zoomed in too far, you can push them back in from either end and um, readjust it however you would like the photo to be. So that is the that's how you're going to edit each individual page. Some of the graphics, if you select a graphic within this, you would be able to change the color of like this swirl here. And all you have to do is select it and then change the color the same way you did with the text. Um, if for some reason you decide you do not want the shadows that are behind all of the photos, you can ungroup and select the shadow and just delete it. Personally, I like the shadows, and that's why I have them for everything. Um, so I recommend that you leave them, especially for something like this, where you are going to have a photo or a graphic behind. Um, but as well, if you just don't want this, you can also just delete the frame and leave it white, or select the background and change the color the same way that you can with a graphic or one of these squares here. You can also remove the outline if you decide you don't want an outline. There's a border style button here, and you can just remove it by hitting this um, circle with a slash, or you can change the style of the outline or make it larger or skinnier. So those are all options on how you can customize. And then to just change the text, um, you actually are just going to want to double click to select it, or you can click and then drag across to select the text. And then you just type in whatever message you would like to. One thing to note with the shadows, so this applies to this as well because there's a shadow behind that. Um, you can make something larger by selecting on it and dragging on the corners. But if you try and make it wider from an edge on the side or the bottom, it's going to result in um, a strange combination with the shadow in the background. So I do not recommend changing the proportions of these photos and graphics because of the shadows that are behind, unless, like I said, you want to ungroup and then just remove the shadow, and then you'll no longer have that problem. Um, Something else to note, what I'm hitting here is I'm just hitting Control Z. You can also hit this back button here. Anytime you make a change that you want to undo, which, I mean, I know I hit the undo button all the time because I constantly change my mind. And then you just go ahead and hit undo to make any changes to revert it back to what it was like before. And now another important thing to note is you can go into grid view here and change the order of the pages. So if now I have this set up in a very nice flow. However, you may have photos that don't really fit the flow. For instance, you may want to have a very chronological photo book, and you may need, say, a two photo um, template instead of a six photo template. So you're just going to drag it from, you're just going to left click, yes, and drag it to wherever you want it in the page order. If you want to drag two at a time because you like the way these two photos or these two pages flow together, you're just going to select both of them with shift click, and then you can move them together. And you can do as many photos as you like all at once with that shift click. Um, You can also hit control click if you want to move this one and this one, but leave this one behind. You can also do that as well. And I'm going to undo that. And then the other thing you can do is you can duplicate a page. Let's say you want to have more of this page because you really like this layout. Um, or if you want to do two at a time, you can shift and do the both of them. And then you're just going to hit these two squares with the plus, and that's the duplicate page. And you can also click on these three dots and duplicate this way as well. So both options um, are viable there. The other thing to note, um, if you are on a phone, you will pinch out or pinch your fingers together. Yes, pinch your fingers together, and that will zoom out to the point where it goes to the grid view. And um, that way you'll get to this screen because they don't have the phone doesn't have this grid view button. So you're going to do that to get to the screen if you're on the phone. Let me see. I think that pretty much covers. Oh, the other thing is you can hit the trash can to delete a page if you decide you just don't want to use this page, for instance, or multiple pages. Select as many as you want at a time and hit the trash can, and it will be gone. And that is another reason why you want to copy your template so that if you want to delete pages, you can freely delete whatever pages you want to fit the perfect photo book for this moment without losing those pages for a future project because you might want to create another photo book. And while this is a yearbook, it can easily be adapted for any other occasion, whether it's a wedding or a birthday event, um, any special holiday, you can absolutely adapt it for that occasion. It's a very neutral, uh, that's also why it's great to do this in Canva. It's very customizable. All of the text within here is customizable. Change the font, change the colors, change what the text says. So everything's fully customizable. And the last thing I want to show you that can really make your photo book special, if you're not using the highest quality of photos, as some of us may not have um, the best quality photos, you can actually click on a photo and hit edit. And if it doesn't show up here, you can go into your apps, but I believe it should always show up here. Now, I think they moved it. You go ahead and you click on Image Upscaler. But if you do need to search for it, you would just click into apps and type in um, Image Upscaler or even just upscale, and it's going to show up for you. And what you can do is you can upscale it based on the quality of your photo. So this one, the resolution, I can only do it up to 2 more times. Personally, I don't think it works as well if you go above 3. I don't recommend going more than 3 times the resolution of your photo. But you just select which one and then you hit upscale. And depending on the photo, it may take a little bit of time. I recommend you just let it sit. Sometimes it errors out if you try to go to another page or you click off, especially if you click off of the photo and you try and do something else in Canva. Sometimes it doesn't like that. So you just want to sit and wait. And then you can see the difference here. This particular photo is a little bit higher quality, so you're not going to necessarily see a huge difference. Um, but especially if you go the 3 times or occasionally the 4 times is okay, you can sometimes see a really great improvement in your photo quality, and that will really help out. when you go to print, or even if you're just sharing digitally. So, um, and the more you zoom in, the more that you're going to see that difference with the upscaling. And that is everything you need to know to be able to customize this family yearbook and make just an absolutely beautiful photo book for your family. I almost forgot. There is one more thing I need to show you, and that is how to save or download your finished project. So you're just going to need to go to Share and Download. And then you're going to want to change this to either PDF print or PNG. So you're going to want to use PDF print if you are self-printing. And some print services will request a PDF file, in which case you're going to want to use PDF print for the best print quality. And then you're just going to go ahead and download. If you don't want to download all the pages, you can unselect certain pages. But if you've used all of your pages or deleted the extra ones, you're just going to go ahead and download. If you are if you are going to upload these files onto certain print services, they are unable to use a PDF. Places like Mixbook and Shutterfly use PNG or JPEG files. I believe that the PNG files have a higher quality to them, so I always choose PNG. They are slightly larger than a JPEG file, but for your printing purposes, I would always download as a PNG file. And when you download the entire thing as a PNG file, which I'm going to go ahead and show you, because the PNGs are going to be a little unique. They're going to turn into a zip file. So wherever your downloads go, for me, it's this up arrow here. You're going to want to go ahead and click, and um, you will need to go back to where the downloads are, and you're going to need to right click because it's zipped together and hit extract all. And that is going to take each of the PNGs and put them into a folder for you. And then you can upload all of these photos, which will be filled with your beautiful family photos or event photos, and you can upload them onto any print service which uses individual image files. And then you're just going to choose, for each page, you're going to choose a page that covers the whole page. And that way you'll be able to just put each one of these in, because you're not putting the individual photos in, you're putting the uh, a single photo that covers the whole page. Now, if you do have any questions, please feel free to leave a comment below or reply to your product purchase email, and I will be happy to help. And thank you for watching.